All right, honey, it's a pleasure to be with you today.
For meeting me today and coming on, and deep gratitude for this other aspect in which we can share as our Facebook Live. Didn't quite collaborate this morning, but we're very grateful to continue forward as there are many individuals who are very excited to learn about what is taking place in this vision that you had with the 1000 Goddess Circle coming up in September 20th.
Oh, October, yeah, October 20th.
September 20th. October 20th.
October 20th.
I'm jumping timelines already.
That's okay.
And it's a beautiful pleasure because I really wanted those that didn't know about you from the other communities that I reach in different parts of the world to know what felt called to you, and for them to recognize that they have the opportunity to take part wherever they are in parts of the earth. They can directly take part in their circles, and that's what I felt like I wanted to share this moment, so you can share what is possible and how they can participate, and particularly calling up the sacred divine masculine to take part in this union that is taking place in Washington, D.C., one of the most powerful vortexes and the grid lines, that it is a power, but we're bringing the divine power, the sacred power, rather than the manipulated power that's been used in the past.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for having me. And I'm really honored to be interviewed by you. To give a little background about the 1000 Goddesses gathering, this gathering was not my idea. And I am a Gaia communicator, Gaia priestess, and I work very, very closely with Earth Mother. And she woke me up at 5 in the morning in late July 2016 and said to me very early that morning that the 1000 Goddesses gathering, which she had told me a year and a half before, or about 9 months before, she said that I was to organize this in the physical for her. She told me that morning very early, late July 2016, that this gathering was to happen in Washington, D.C. before the election. So we did the first one in October of 2016, October 22nd. And the gathering is based on the Tibetan prophecy that when 1000 goddesses or Tibetan Taras, Buddhist Taras, unite, then the tone of the planet will shift from fear to compassion, and the divine feminine will come back into the planet, which is an absolutely huge vision. And yet it's possible. We can do this. And the energies on the planet are shifting so fast. It's fast becoming time where this is possible for this to happen. And so we did the first gathering in 2016, and as I shared with you when you and I talked briefly before, a massive conduit of white light came into our ceremony, in the middle of the ceremony. And it radiated the ground there in the mall where we were at Constitution Gardens. And for those who might know about Hawkins scale of frequency, it's a way of measuring energy from David Hawkins. And it radiated into the ground at 12,000 Hawkins scale of frequency. So all of us who were there, all close to 500 of us who were at the gathering that day, got a huge chakra activation. You know, some people were ecstatic for a couple of days afterwards, and some people were kind of crawling off the mall going, oh my gosh, what happened? But I mean, everyone was taken care of on the spirit plane. The spirit team behind this gathering is not small, and I work very closely not only with Mother Gaia but the Virgin Mary and Mary Magdalene also, and Kuan Yin and the 21 Taras and the Christ consciousness. So this spirit team is significant, and they're the ones who are requesting this gathering. And for this event this year, 2018, the event will be on the Washington Mall on October 20th. Yes. And the call from the spirit planes is that there needs to be a significant divine masculine presence because this is not just about the divine feminine. It's about sacred balance on our planet that has not been here on the planet for millennia. And so we are calling for our event on the Washington Mall for the men to volunteer to be part of our divine masculine team. And people can go to our website, which is 1000goddesses.net, and it's 1000, the number 1000 goddesses.net, to find out all the details about the gathering. We are also being told on the spirit plane that it is very significant that any and all groups around the world, sacred circles that form regularly, that gather regularly, or might want to just gather for this day, please join us. Please rally some friends. It could be just you and one friend, or it could be you and 25 friends. We are calling for, they are calling for on the spirit plane, a global grid of sacred circles linked with us.
That's right.
And we have also, in the planning of this so far, partnered already with Gather the Women, who have sacred circles of women who meet on a monthly basis around the, I believe they do it around the new moon, but don't quote me on that. They're in 34 countries. And Gaia Field, which is a really powerful project led by David Nicholls, he's going to be disseminating it in his newsletter that goes out to 20,000 people around the world. And David Nicholls is particularly significant for us to partner with because David is the author of the book called Subtle Activism. And this event and this global grid, and I'm feeling all this energy coming through me right now, and I don't know if you're feeling it. The spirit team is really getting activated right now. They love that I'm sharing this with you and your friends, your community.
And that's why to share all of it, because that community, they fully understand and embrace the message from spirit side and the calling, and they know their part in showing up. So I'm very grateful for all you're sharing.
Beautiful. Well, I want to share just a little bit more about David Nicholls and Gaia Field, because his research, and he has a PhD in this, his research about subtle activism is based on numerous studies, actual scientific studies of when people have done, groups of people have come together to meditate in areas in urban cities, urban areas where there's a lot of violence, that the violence drops down significantly after that meditation session. And so here we have an opportunity to not only focus just on one area, being Washington, D.C., but to call for a grid of energy of all these groups around the world, invoking the divine feminine, invoking the divine mother in all of her names, you know, Kuan Yin, Oshun, Yamaya, Taras, Freya, Bridget, the list goes on and on, Isis.
Yes.
So when we do this as a global grid of sacred circles, we're then connecting our spiritual energy of our ceremonies to all the other ones around the planet that day. And Mother Gaia in particular is calling for each one of these sacred circles to connect with her heart also. As you're doing your ceremony and invoking the mothers, and you're welcome to invoke the fathers, divine fathers too, for sacred balance, because that is a big focus here for the day and for the healing of the energies on the planet. But so David's research has been significant in showing the power of these global grids. And so he actually helps to disseminate and organize certain global meditations, but he's just really excited about the fact that we're doing a divine feminine 1000 goddesses global grid. This really thrills him. He's very much on board and very much supports us.
Great Britain had mentioned him, and there was, I don't know if you know this, the United States Air Force, there was a report that shared where they were flying through certain zones, and there was a disruption in the energy field of their satellite. And then they discovered these were all the pockets where there were circles of prayer taking place. So the power, so for those that want the scientific validation of it, there is a science, the science of love, the science of coming together, the science of the union of the heart and the mind and this physical garment together has tremendous impact because it's connected to everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it does cause disruption in the frequency with the air traffic control, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I think I had heard that, you know, and it's all energy. I mean, as so many of us are really learning, it's all energy. And when we collectively raise our energy vibration, it's going to shift the energy planes.
Absolutely.
Multidimensionally.
Absolutely.
And this is our goal.
And Mara, my dear, it is happening on the spirit plane. As we were talking about this yesterday in our gathering, what's taking place in the spirit and the etheric and the mental, then it's coming down in the emotional and it's coming into our physical vessel, because we are in the earth incarnation, and that's why our connection to Mother Earth is such a key. So it's synchronized in the same pulse of her heart. And I'm so happy you mentioned how important it is to connect into her heart. And one step that I like to really share, because what we're focused on is the unity grid consciousness on Mother Earth, which is the new earth, the new template of Mother Earth that is fully based. It's a very pure foundation. It is not from a place of suffering. It's not from a place of that. It's pure. The new cities of light that we've been asked to create on Mother Earth, mm-hmm. They're all pure, and it is based on the divine law of oneness, mm-hmm. and love. And that's why I love when you said for the circle ceremonies are around to connect to her heart. The heart knows the truth, because we have to bring this, bridging it.
Yeah. And mother is calling us home to connect.
Right.
Her heart. Yeah. And you know, this is interesting, honey, and this is not necessarily it's not necessarily the focus of what we're talking about right now, but we actually have a new Mother Gaia on the planet. And
but it is the focus, you know, if you look
it is. I mean, there's 1,000 goddesses gathering, and then there is our mother, our planetary
new earth. Exactly. So our again, my audience, they know the new earth. They've all been connecting to the geometric pattern of the icosahedron and the dodecahedron, the unity Christ consciousness, the feminine Christ, that full Christ. That's the new earth, and that's why from the land of America, the prophecies have said the great awakening would take place, and it is led by the woman. We've known for a long time.
That's where the Dalai Lama says that the world will be healed by the Western woman.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. It's incredible. So tell me this vision that was granted to you, and it is of the calling of the many planes of the goddesses that are here supporting the humanity's ascension. And they have called upon, there are many of us, any of us that have been called into the sacred mystery schools, any of us that have been called to the red tents and the goddess circles and the gatherings, there's that awakening that has taken place in us. And also there have been tremendous amount of calling towards the sacred men rising in their sacred to support this incredible foundation of light and love. That's what it is. And in facilitating this, in delivering it with those that feel called to it, there's a big team that takes place. And I know you need support, the proper support for this one coming up and further. Please state, my dear, what are some of the ways that you really need the help at this time from many different communities? And so that way people that feel called, because as we spoke, been speaking, many people are like, oh my God, I want to take part, but they don't know what you support with.
Yeah, let me address this. Thank you. This is, well, one really beautiful thing is to, if you live far away from DC, to please gather a circle together. And again, it doesn't have to be a large group, and it can be a public group and or a private group. We have on our website, again, 1,000 goddesses, the number 1,000.net. There's a header called Global Grid, and there's one of the pages is how to join in, how to join the Global Grid, and there's some steps there. Like we have a registration page on Eventbrite for those who are distant from DC and don't want to come to DC. But please do register your group so we can let other people know how to find you if your group is public. Yeah, we're going to be posting all of the groups that are public and maybe some of the private ones too. We're just going to mark them on our website like, yes, there's a group meeting there so we can see where the grid is active there.
That's right.
We also are looking for support. So anyone who wants to make donations, they can be either tax deductible or not tax deductible. We have options there. Go to the website. All the information is there. We actually even have these lovely silk veils that we hand dye using water from over 400 sacred sites around the world that we sell as a fundraiser. We have these.
That one is used for those who are coming.
Yes.
Part in the ceremony.
Yes. On DC, on the mall, we're going to be dancing with the sacred silk veils and any other scarves or veils that people bring. We're going to have a big sacred dance around the lake there at Constitution Gardens, and we're going to activate the entire area. And one of the things that I didn't mention when I talked about the massive conduit of white light that came in 2016 was some really gifted light workers saw it come in. And then they tuned in and they saw that it went out 3 miles out and cleared all these denser energies from all the federal buildings, which included the White House, the Capitol building, the Federal Reserve, even the Pentagon was within that 3 mile radius. So, and a woman contacted me a week and a half after the gathering and she said, I've noticed a lot of energy shifting in the Pentagon. And she said, I thought it was me and my experience at the Thousand Goddesses gathering, but now I'm realizing that the energies from the gathering affected the Pentagon so that there's a lot less shadow masculine behavior going on around me here in the Pentagon. I mean, she commented on that from the Pentagon, which blew my mind, but it was to me a verification of when you do really powerful ceremony and you call in the spirit realms, they're ready. They will come in. And DC needed that clearing. And so this is, and I've also heard on the spirit plane just only in the past month and a half, and this came from the spiritual councils here that are really coordinating this, that they are asking for us to activate the divine feminine planetary grid.
Absolutely.
This is what we're doing that weekend. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So the other types of support that we could use, again, donations, small and large. We need funding because there's some definite real costs and a lot of time and energy behind this event. We're also looking for men who want to join us in DC. If you are interested in being part of our Divine Masculine team, we are calling out to you to support us because there will be a role for the men to be guardians, to help hold the space during the ceremony and to actually interact in part of the ceremony. I can't get into all the details here, but
they can contact you.
Yeah, go to our website and contact us via the Contact Us page. We're going to be adding another page to the website shortly for specifically the Divine Masculine. It's not there yet. Everything's been evolving here with the whole planning. But in the meantime, you can always contact us. Let us know via the Contact Us page on the website. And tell your friends, spread this through your networks. And yeah, tell everyone that you know, because the Mother is calling us home. And she is calling us back into sacred balance here, because this is what the new world is about. And for the men who feel called, I so honor you. And for the men who are out there who aren't really sure what this is all about, it's about healing. It's about healing the wounded masculine that has been controlling our Western society for hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's about all of us shifting into compassion and shedding the whole mentality of fear and lack that's been so predominant, that it's been the illusion that's so deeply embedded in the Western culture. So I'm really honored to be sharing this with you, honey. I'm thrilled that we're talking. I'm really thrilled that we're talking.
I am That's why, because it's such a core into my heart, and the amount of contribution for years that's been done with that particular grid in Washington, D.C., and the ceremonies that many of us have done in clearing and clearing, because there's been so many, how do I want to say this, like footprints before that have come, so that finally a sacred, divine goddess energy can fully be allowed, welcome, embraced. That frequency, there's been a lot of battle in that transformation. I personally myself have had, when I did the dispatcher ceremony there with a friend, and we were greeted by the Black Ops helicopter. Then we had at the Lincoln Memorial a few years ago, then we had some of the higher dimensional friends from spirit side came in and said, we'll cover you, go ahead and finish the work, because we had to release all those prayers of the goddess. We joined in with the rise of the goddess several years ago, and we had to put that big giant prayer bundle into Lincoln Memorial, that water, and it was right over us. So we're very aware of what's as well, my dear.
Oh
and
my gosh, yes. This is
so, I mean, we're talking about it openly, because in this incarnation, the Magdalene rise inside no longer is suppressed. We have been shown for years, from that Feast of Magdalene underneath it. And one day, thousands and thousands of us were slaughtered because not able to communicate that truth. And that memory is inside so many of us. So now we openly communicate. We have these vessels, we have this communication. Here we are in these garments, and we're not closing. We're not being oppressed. We're not being suppressed. We're here to stand in the illumination of our divine truth. And that's that rise, not being able to back down anymore, but in compassion, in celebration, in unity, in harmony of the love principles from our higher consciousness. And that's why I really celebrate you. And I'm thrilled with our Magdalene Divine Sacred Circle to be able to take part, and all the other communities we know to tap in, because they've also done their work. And this big tapestry of this ray of light from Mother Earth that she's designed to radiate the rainbow so beautifully and easily. So we are there to honor her, walk, as we say, the walk of beauty on her belly. So that's why we connect, you and I, like the core of Mother, like when she's channeled through me, Michael's seen when she's spoken through me, like for 2 or 3 days, I can't even talk. The beauty of her is tremendous, and we can't embrace her until we come back to our heart. Yeah. And that's why the rise of this is letting us come back to our hearts.
Yeah, and I'm really grateful for you and your sister circle there, the Magdalene's circle that you formed, because you're going to be playing a big role there at the gathering in DC with the altar that you're going to be creating, honoring one of the races, because the spiritual message at the mall event on October 20th is for us to honor the Hopi prophecy of the reuniting of the 4 races of the planet. And that includes the African people, the Asian people, the Native peoples, and the white people. Yes. And I know you and I have already been discussing how I love that your group is interested, and we're creating the altar to the white people. And this is an actual Hopi prophecy of when the 4 races of the planet reunite, it will be bringing in a time of peace. So this is to invoke those energies too.
Absolutely.
This is so
beautiful. And the one thing that I also like to share, the souls that are embodied in the bodies of, let's say they are, let's say transgenders or gays and lesbians. I like for you to say, because often people are like, well, am I welcome? It's just the goddess. Am I welcome? I feel this is very important.
Thank you. Yeah, and some of our organizing committee members are lesbian and gay and trans, not necessarily trans, but anyway, they're within that community. And so we're actually going to have a mini ceremony within our event on the Washington Mall to honor all the people who walk the path of being between genders. And you know, within the Native traditions, they are honored. They're called twin souls. They're considered highly wise and spiritually evolved. And we are coming from that place also. But we welcome everyone to be a part of this gathering. And so anyone who embodies the masculine, regardless of what your birth gender is, you are welcome to be a divine masculine presence. Anyone who embodies the goddess, and actually, frankly, we all embody all of it. You know? We do. So
embrace about you, because you fully get it, because in our higher dimensional bodies, we are genderless.
Yeah.
We contain both. It's an energy we contain, you know.
Yeah.
And we're going back to our ascension, we're going back there. So that's why we're coming into that balance ourselves. And they've led the forefront in coming into these bodies. So much respect, because the Syrian high councils, when they came through, they explained their purpose of being in these bodies and what an important role in the ascension of humanity's evolution has been. So, and they can hold this vibration now for the goddess to rise. So very grateful. Thank you. That was one I wanted you to ask.
I'm really glad that you brought that up. That was a really important question. So again, everyone is encouraged to go to the website, 1000goddesses.net. Again, 1000.
I will post that also on here.
That would be wonderful. And we do have an event page on Facebook where we're posting announcements. Please register. This is really, really critical. If you're coming to the DC event, please register. All the information's on our website.
And let them know why to register, because some people did show up, because even sometimes I ask, they don't. But the registration is a very important part of this. If you like to add just one.
No, that's key. The reason we're asking people to register is this is so we can tell you what to bring to the event.
That's right.
So we can stay in touch with you about any details that may be last minute, you know. One thing that we haven't mentioned is there are going to be goddess stations, goddess chocolate stations. But we are asking people to bring chocolate to share, because we don't have it in our budget to buy chocolate for 1,000 people. That's just one example. But there's going to be a list of things to bring, and we're going to tell you the schedule. We're going to go over like rideshare, all of that. This way we can tell you what to prepare for so everyone comes. For instance, the food there is not very good, and we can't have food on the mall according to Park Service regs. So we need to remind people, bring your own food.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's details like that, because the little food kiosk there is, hot dogs. You know, not everyone wants a hot dog for lunch. So yeah, please do register. It helps us track the numbers for one. And it helps us really stay in touch with you, because there are details we need to share with you. And all of that is on the website. There's a whole registration page in there. You link to Eventbrite.
Perfect.
So, and you can actually go to Eventbrite and find it there too. 1000 Goddesses Gathering.
Wonderful. I will post all of that here, and I also post it on my fan page. My fan page about 6,000 on one part, the other one is about 5,000, and then it's linked to all the other social media. So this can go out to the networks, and then Michael and I live, as I mentioned to you, for our Europe tour, 5 weeks. We're in different countries. With our communities, expanding that. So, and just that network coming together. There's an energy pool coming together. I'm very honored that we were able, for years we've known each other, and just
and we love each other. We not only connected now. It's an honor. Really beautiful.
Tears to me, and just that presence in which you and I hold so humble in our heart, you know, and the devotion to Mother.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful. From that place, you and I have found that. I don't know if you know this, I'm going to throw this out. When I created my product line years ago, I had 350 products in my line. There were personal care, cosmetics, aromatherapy, raw vegan chocolates, baby line, cosmetic line, everything vegan, everything non-toxin, everything free from chemicals. Everything was to help raise the consciousness, and then it was connected. It was an 8-woman project that was connected to help International Lifeline Fund for the Woman Project, for the sustainable stoves in Sudan, Tanzania, Kenya, and there was another one, Uganda, so that the woman were protected, and the work, what we use in products did not harm us, our earthly body. We're the children of Mother, or didn't harm Mother Earth. So sustainable. I even got like the recognition, you know, my company with the Green America as a socially responsible green company, just the dedication. So my what I feel for Mother, I feel I am her. And being a mother, like it just, the love for her is so deep. And that's why, like, the first message I left for you, like tears, I'm so grateful what you're doing. It's so much more than what is being implemented. It's gigantic. She's celebrated.
Yes, yes.
And it's time for her to be celebrated so her children can remember. She always says, my children have forgotten.
Yes, and Mother loves us so much.
So much.
The love that she has for us, when we tap into it, is so beautiful and so healing. And oh, she's coming in really strongly right now.
I know. I feel
she's
it.
Really coming in.
I know. Yeah.
She's calling us home with her love, because with this love we can tap into our capacity to manifest so much more love. And that's what this new world is about. And people use the word love really loosely, and it means 1,000 different things, but this is a deep, deep sense of compassion and unity, where we are all one. And we recognize this, and the sense of separation between us and others just falls away. And so we're taking care of each other, and we're taking care of the trees and the flowers and the stones and all the animals, because we understand that we're all in sacred community. Anyway, I could go on and on. We should wrap
it is
this
the
up.
divine love. Divine love knows all.
Yes. And we all have the capacity to tap into it and feel it. And it's the ultimate healing.
That's right.
I honor you.
Gratitude. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to the Spirit. Thank you for guiding it. Thank you for not turning your back. We are all in it together, and I'm so humbled and honored to take a part in this with those that I know. And we'll post this, and then may you have all the support that you need.
Thank you. I am so grateful to you. Yes, sister. Love to you. Love and gratitude. Huge.
Love and gratitude.
All right. So,
blessed day, and aho, my dear sacred sister.
aho. All right. Love.
Bye-bye.